Hey guys, as we all know that testing is an essential part of writing smart contracts. And for that reason, in this video, we are going to be diving into different methods for testing your Sway smart contracts. Now, there are three methods with which you can test your Sway contracts. First one is unit testing. Second one is testing with Rust. And third one is testing with the fork called CLI. Now, for that, we will be diving into each one of those. And before that, let's scaffold a new Sway project. I'm going to be following this quick start guide for that and simply paste the command here and sudo into our newly created Sway project and also open it into our code editor. As you can see, it has created two main files. Firstly, main.sway, which is a boilerplate smart contract that it has provided us with, and second one is our forc.2ml. Now, let's talk about how you can test your smart contract using unit testing. Now, fork provides built-in support for building and executing tests for your package. And what does that mean? Now, for those of you all know who don't know, fork is an orchestrator for fuel, and what you can do is basically just add this hash test attribute on top of your function, and it will treat your function as a test. Now let's see it in action. I'm gonna simply paste it into our main.sway file, and I'm gonna simply run for test. Now what this command will do, it will go ahead and build this entire project and will look for all the functions who has test attribute, and it will treat each of the function as its own individual script, and it will run it. As you can see, our test case is passing because it has asserted it. Now let's see that if I want to assert a failing situation. Now I want my test case to fail. So how I'm gonna do that? I'm gonna be simply update our test attribute with the should revert, and what it will mean that it will assert that this test case should fail. If it won't fail, then it will throw us an error. Now let's again say it in action. Perfect. Here we go. Now let's say I want to log a particular revert code when our test fails. And for that, what we'll need to do, simply provide a revert code over here. Now let's see. We have provided revert code, so when our function or like test case passes, it should provide us with this revert code. Now let's see it in action and see what it emits. Okay, our test case has passed, but it has not provided us with the revert code. Interesting. Now, the reason for that is to see the error code or the revert code in your terminal, you will need to provide an additional flag, revert codes. Okay, so here you go, it has provided you with a revert code. So like this, you can have your multiple test case function over here, and you can test your smart contract using the fork test. And not only that, you can even call external contracts using ABI and contract ID within your test functions as well. Now let's head to the second method, that is testing with Rust. Now for testing with Rust, we will be using this cargo template that we have to test with Rust. And now let's see how we will need to do that. For that, I'm going to be running this script into our project, cargo install cargo generate, and after that I'm going to be generating some test harness, basically generating this boilerplate code from here. Just paste and hit enter. Perfect. So as you can see, it has done the installation. Now let's see what it has done in our code editor. As you can see, it has created three new files. Firstly, you can find the cargo.2ml. It is the place where it has stored all the dependencies of our project that it is going to be using, as well as second one is the build.rs. So this is a build script that is going to run or build our project every time we run tests. So before running test, this script will build our project on its own. And lastly, it's a Rust harness. This is basically a boilerplate test code that it provides us with in order to get started. Now let's hit cargo test and see how it goes. Here it has asked you to build, but I don't think you should do that explicitly. You simply need to run cargo test. Now let's hit cargo test. As you can see, it is updating and fetching the binaries and the libraries. So it will build, yeah, you can see it is building the project on its own. We don't need to do it explicitly. Let's wait for it to complete the building. Okay, perfect. So our test case is also passing and the command executed successfully. Now let's update our test and write our own test. For that, I will be updating my main.sway file with this counter contract. If you can see over here, it has two functions in its ABI. First one is initialize counter, second one is increment counter. We have our storage variable over here. In that, we have value of counter as 0. And in the contract, we have two functions, initialize counter and increment counter. The first one returns the value of U64 as well as second one, and this writes the value to the initialize counter, and this increments this. So now let's update our test case from the one that is provided over here. I'm just gonna paste it and let's hit cargo test and see how it goes. Oops, we have encountered an error, and let's see what's the issue. It's on line 26. I can see the issue now. Perfect. Let's try again. Oof, that's great. So our Rust test is also passing. With that, you can test your each and every function from your smart contract. Now, here comes the final one, testing with the fork called CLI. Now, fork call is a command line tool for interacting with the deployed smart contracts on Fuel. You can have it considered similar as the cast call from Foundry. It is basically inspired from cast call, and it allows you to make contract calls, query on-chain data, and interact with your deployed contracts. You can even transfer funds using the fork call CLI. Now let's quickly get started. You can check out the article we have for the fork call for more details. Now we have a simple smart contract that adds two values and returns the updated added value. So let's quickly update our smart contract with that, and yeah, I guess that's all. And yeah, by the way, for in order to interact with the contract over here, or like using the for call, you will need to deploy the network of your choice. So for that, I will be deploying it to testnet. You can even deploy it to local node if you want. So yeah, for deploy testnet, let me provide it with the password. Yes, yeah, this is the account I will want to go with. Yeah, so it has deployed our smart contract to this address. Yeah, and you can see it costed like $0.0004 to deploy this contract. Now let's interact with it using the fork called CLI. But before that, I'm gonna be setting my contract address to this value, and fork call Yeah, I'm gonna be updating this with the ABI of this one, my fuel project. And you can see I have mentioned the network along with the API contract address. And if this is successful, it should return the result of addition of both these numbers. So let's hit enter and see how it goes. Okay, it seems to be working. Perfect. So it has provided us the transaction hash as well as the result of the adding both of these numbers. So this was a little bit gist of how you can test your smart contracts using different methods. Stay tuned and follow for more Sway videos. Until next time, bye bye.